friends, my name is Mani and welcome with Rcare. Today we're gonna learn about reflexive pronoun in this video. So this is a very important part of A2 grammar and this has been using in B1 as well. So please make sure you go through this video if you don't know about this multiple times because it will take time for you to grab it. This is a past experience which I'm sharing with most of my students because they feel that this topic is a little bit difficult, but it's not so difficult, believe me. And if I talk about the German language, if you wanted to learn the German with us, you're most welcome to contact us, call us, email us, or you can WhatsApp also. And you wanted to know about the German language, German education, European education, Italy, education in Italy, you're most welcome to contact us. Thank you.
Reflexive Verben. Reflexive verbs. So, reflexive verbs in Germans are the verbs which take a reflexive pronoun along with it. Which means whenever we use a reflexive verb. So, what are reflexive verbs actually? Reflexive verbs are those verbs which, whenever used in a sentence, take a reflexive pronoun with them. For example, ich ärgere mich. So the verb here is sich ärgern. Okay? And we have similar reflexive verbs. For example, we have sich freuen, sich beeilen, and we have sich anziehen, sich waschen. So this sich, which is a reflexive pronoun, these are always used with the verb. So this sich of course will be conjugated according to the personal pronouns. It gets changed into accusative and dative. We'll be learning the tables ahead, but first of all we need to know how to use reflexive verbs. So what is the rule for using reflexive verb? The verb is conjugated, the main verb. So for example, in this one, ärgern will be conjugated and it comes at the second position. And the reflexive pronoun that we are using with it. For example, with ich, it will be mich. So that reflexive pronoun comes at the third position. So I can say I am angry. Okay, sich ärgern means to be angry. Now, so first of all, if we want to learn the sentences with reflexive verbs and reflexive pronouns, we need to know the tables accurately. So here we have the tables of the reflexive pronouns. So as you can see, in accusative case and in dative case, only the reflexive pronoun changes with ich and du. So it is ich. With ich, we use mich in accusative case and mir in dative case. We use dich in accusative case for du. And in dative case we use dir. But for sie, wir, ihr and capital Z, which means formal U, for these pronouns we always use the same reflexive pronouns. For example, for sie, be it in accusative case or in dative case, we always use sich. With wir we use uns, with ihr we use euch, and with sie we use sich again. So let's come to the third slide, which has the examples, so you can understand better how we use the reflexive verbs. Now we are starting with the accusative verbs only. As usual, like we have learned in A1 and A2, verbs can be of two types, which are fixed accusative verbs. Verbs can be of fixed dative, and verbs, some verbs are exceptional which can take both accusative case and as well as dative case. So similarly, we'll be learning first of all the accusative reflexive verbs. For example, sich freuen, to be happy or to be pleased. So before using this in a sentence, we need to know how to conjugate. Okay, so freuen will be conjugated just normally according to the pattern that we have learned in A1 level, but we would be using different reflexive pronoun with different personal pronouns. For example, with ich we'll use mich. So ich freue mich. I am happy. Du freust dich. You are happy. Freut sich. He is happy. Wir freuen uns. We are happy. Ihr freut euch. You all are happy. Sie freuen sich. They are happy. Or formally, you are happy. Let's come to the next example, which is a dative reflexive verb. Sich anziehen, to put on or to wear. Now the verb anziehen is separable or trennbar verb. So it will be separated. The first part will go at the end. The second part will come at the second position. So we write, Ich ziehe mir ein Kleid an. Du ziehst dir ein T-shirt an. So similarly, I put on a dress, you put on a dress. Zieht sich ein T-shirt an. He puts on a T-shirt. Wir ziehen uns ein Kleid an. We put on a dress. Ihr zieht euch Hosen an. You all put on pants. Sie ziehen sich ein Kleid an. They, or formal you, put on a dress. So here, sich anziehen is generally always used as an accusative verb. Okay. If I had to say, I wear a dress, or I am dressing up myself, I would have simply said, Ich ziehe mich an. So generally, it is an accusative verb, but whenever we have an accusative ergänzung, or you could say in general terms, we could say an accusative object in a sentence. For example, I'm dressing myself, but what am I wearing? I'm wearing a t-shirt, I'm wearing a dress, I'm putting on a pant. So when we have accusative objects, the reflexive pronoun is converted into dative case. So we take dative in that case. Some of the verbs are not originally reflexive verbs now. So in reflexive verbs we have two kinds. It can be either echter reflexive Verben, which means genuine or original reflexive verbs, or it could be unechter reflexive Verben. Now what does these two mean? So whenever we say echter reflexive Verben, it means the verbs which cannot be used without the reflexive pronoun. But some of the verbs can be used without the reflexive pronoun and with the reflexive pronoun as well. So these verbs are unechter reflexive Verben. For example, sich waschen, to wash oneself. If I say, I am washing myself, I am the subject here and I am also the object here, because I am washing, and what am I washing? Myself. So I am the subject as well as the object. So we use accusative case here and we use reflexive verb, ich wasche mich. But when I say, I wash him, in this case we do not use reflexive verb. We do not use the reflexive pronoun with the verb. Ich wasche ihn. So there's no sich. Ish ke saath we didn't use mich. Let's go to the next example. Now again, we have sich waschen, to wash oneself. Ich wasche mich. I wash myself. Du wäschst dich. You wash yourself. Wäscht sich. He washes himself. Wir waschen uns. We wash ourselves. Ihr wäscht euch. You all wash yourselves. Sie waschen sich. They wash themselves. Now let's see the example with an accusative object again. Now some of the reflexive verbs can be used as accusative as well as dative object, as I have explained it to you earlier. But when there is an accusative object in the sentence, the reflexive pronoun will take dative case. So now, for example, sich waschen, to wash oneself. So when I had to say I'm washing myself, I said ich wasche mich. But if I add an accusative object here again, ich wasche mir die Haare. We have the object here, die Haare. What am I washing? I'm washing the hair. So the reflexive pronoun will be in dative case. Now for example, ich wasche mir die Haare. I wash my hair. Du wäschst dir die Haare. You wash your hair. Wäscht sich die Haare. He washes his hair. Wir waschen uns die Haare. We wash our hair. Ihr wäscht euch die Haare. You all wash your hair. Sie waschen sich die Haare. They or you washed your hair. I hope you all have understood how to use reflexive verbs with reflexive pronoun, and you can always refer to the table, but I would suggest to please thoroughly mug up the table. You have to be thorough with the table before you can use these verbs, and you have to always focus on the accusative objects as well and the nominative case, for which you have to be thorough with the case system first. If you haven't watched our videos on case system, regular verbs, you can watch them in our playlist. The links are given below.